right. Good Tuesday morning. It is still morning, yes. It is still morning where I am. All right. So, welcome to my channel. I'm Susan, and I do daily, well, except for the weekend. Possibly Saturday if something major happens, but on Friday, but otherwise I do morning videos, daily morning videos of the news that happened the day before. And I occasionally also go off on absolutely stupid shit on my other videos. So yes, I do two kinds of videos. If that interests you, please subscribe. Or if you want something more lighthearted, I also do TV show reviews on my main channel. All right, with that out of the way, let us get to the news. Okay, let us start with world news. All right, Russian forces bombarded Ukrainian troops and towns along the front lines in eastern Donetsk region in what appeared to be early salvos of a new offensive as Western allies met in Brussels to plan stepped-up supplies to the Kyiv government. 2 Dutch F-35 fighters intercepted a formation of 3 Russian military aircraft near Poland and escorted them out, the Netherlands Defense Ministry said. Oh, that's lovely. That nothing says, yeah, we have no intention of attacking outside of Ukraine than having Russian fighters not be in Ukraine. Now who's threatening to scale up the conflict? All right. An 18-year-old man was pulled from the rubble of a building in southern Turkey, the third rescue today, as some 198 hours after the devastating earthquake, as aid workers shifted focus to those left homeless in the bitter cold. And the quake has spanned resentment among some Turks towards the millions of Syrian refugees in the country who are being blamed anecdotally by some for looting amid the destruction and chaos. So, just in case you didn't realize that there are shitty people everywhere. Because number one, I wouldn't put it past, desperate Turks to loot. I highly doubt this would just be a Syrian thing, if Syrians are actually looting. And the fact that it's just word of mouth, yeah, that kind of screams, yeah, we just want to take advantage of the situation to shit on people. So, yeah. Not saying that none of them are doing it, it's entirely possible, but I even saw a news item where someone, I don't know if it's a shopkeeper, was saying, if they're looking for essentials like food, water, clothing, something that is needed, fine, I'm not going to stop it because that makes sense. You lost everything. But if you're going for TVs or appliances, things that are not essential, then, and that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, these people just lost everything. All right. New Zealand declared a national state of emergency for only the third time in its history as Cyclone Gabrielle caused widespread flooding, landslides, and huge ocean swells, forcing evacuations and stranding people on rooftops. What a time for the crown princess couple of Sweden to be going to Australia and New Zealand. I realized when this trip was planned, this probably wasn't a thing, but I don't know, maybe postpone it, cancel it, don't go during a fucking cyclone? I mean, it's possible that they're going to parts of Australia that aren't supposed to be hit by the cyclone, but still. I don't know if I want my heir to be going into a danger zone where, oh, I don't know, they could get killed. Just a thought. Of course, there was this controversy where her father bemoaned the fact that his daughter is the heir as opposed to his son. So maybe this is done on purpose. But yeah, I would hope that Princess Victoria would know better than to go into a hurricane. Anyway, Indian tax officers searched the BBC's bureau in New Delhi and Mumbai, two sources told Reuters, weeks after the government came down hard against a BBC documentary critical of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's role in the 2002 Gujarat riots. Because nothing says, I don't want the truth to come out, than to target the group that put out the truth. So, and the U.S. is members, Republicans usually, some Republicans, are complaining that Biden is weaponizing the FBI because, boo-hoo, Trump was raided because he had documents he refused to return. This is weaponizing the government. What Richard Nixon did with Watergate, that's weaponizing the government. So, yeah, you just look silly when you claim that Biden is weaponizing the government because, no, what's happening in India right now, that's weaponizing the government. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and her coalition allies secured emphatic election wins in the two wealthiest regions of the country, strengthening the right's grip on power amid growing voter apathy. Because nothing bad has ever happened when voters are apathetic to what's happening to their country. That's great. Let's just have fascism take over. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? I have to give her credit. She's pro-Europe. So she isn't a complete horrible person, but Brothers of Italy? And I have to admit, I've got to give them credit that they even allowed a woman to be the leader. So, I don't know, maybe they're not as fascist as we think? Or their brand of fascism is just different. One of the two. A gunman opened fire on the main campus of Michigan State University, killing 3 people and injuring 5 before an hours-long manhunt for the suspect ended with his death, apparently from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And before I started recording, I got more information. So he's 43 years old, has absolutely no ties to the university. He was not former faculty, former student, member of the faculty, nothing. Not member of the staff. He has no ties. There is some rumor going around that he was looking for a job. But his father spoke, and yes, I am not saying this douchebag's name. Not doing it. His father claimed that ever since his mother died of a stroke 2 years ago, he's become a recluse and evil and mean. So, and he does have a history of mental health issues, which a part of me thinks, oh good, that makes sense that he can't let go of the fact that his mother died 2 years ago. However, it's also annoying because people are now getting the idea that if you're mentally ill, you're a ticking time bomb, which, no. So, but anyway, he has a history of mental health issues. Apparently, there was a note found on his person, I think it was on his person, threatening 2 schools in New Jersey, one of which he apparently went to because he used to live in Ewing, New Jersey. So, at least that sort of makes sense. I mean, if you're going to attack something that you're familiar with instead of just picking a place. But how extensive are his mental health issues that it's been 2 years and he just can't get over his mother's death? Now, I get that he misses his mom and that they were close. According to the father, she was like his sister, which, okay. But really, I mean, I get that it's hard to get over death, but I mean, I don't know what I would do if I lost my parents. I happily still have them, and I keep telling them that they're immortal, that they can't die, but I certainly wouldn't, oh, I don't know, shoot up a random school because reasons. So, and he also, in 2019, he was arrested, he was charged on gun possession. And he assured his father that he got rid of the gun, which of course he didn't, and because he wouldn't let his father into his room. Now, on the one hand, he's a grown-ass man, so yeah, his father doesn't need to be forcing himself into his room. On the other hand, if this guy is that mentally ill, and his father didn't think he was a threat to himself or others, that's why he didn't go to authorities. I don't know. Apparently, he got the gun for protection. And so yeah, if I don't this obviously meant that it was illegal gun possession because he was arrested for it. So obviously we have the laws on the books. How did he get it? You know. So I was happy that I hadn't heard about gun violence in a while. Because the police are doing other things than shooting people. They're expanding. Alright, the U.S. military said it had recovered critical electronics from the suspected Chinese spy balloon downed by a fighter jet off South Carolina's coast on February 4th, including key sensors presumably used for intelligence gathering. Now, the other objects, again, I just got this notification before I started recording. The other objects are commercial and benign. That's the leading theory by intelligence because they still haven't recovered these objects. Now, to the people who possibly own these objects, once the Chinese spy balloon was detected and it was decided that they were going to pay closer attention to the skies, I don't know, if I had an object in the sky, regardless of whether I would think that somebody would mistake it for something that could be bad, I would want to let the government know, just to say, okay, there's this thing in the sky, it's mine, it's not doing anything, this is the only purpose of it. It doesn't cause any harm. Even if it's not something that was ever going to be on their radar, at least they're aware, regardless of whether this was released after the Chinese spy balloon incident or before. Doesn't matter. I would want to track the balloon, no balloon, track the object, know where it is, so I can inform whoever, whatever authority said, oh yeah, there's this thing that went into your airspace. I mean, come on. Unless this happened in another country, that another country released it, everyone in the U.S. is aware of it. One was shot down over Alaska. One was shot down over the Yukon. So I know that the Canadians are aware of what's happening in the U.S. I'm sure they would be aware about the Chinese spy balloon because, well, it came here through Canada. So it was first detected in Montana by the U.S. So Canada knew about it. You'd think that somebody would think, oh, maybe I should warn people. And then there was the one over Lake Huron, which is between Michigan and Canada. So at least one or two of those people should have been aware that, oh, maybe I should say something. Anyway. So let's see, what else do we have? Republican lawmakers taking the hardest line against raising the government's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling rely heavily on small donors to fund their campaigns, shielding them from business lobby pressure to avoid a default. Okay, that's new. I thought Republicans were pro-business. So who exactly are they for then? They're getting small donors to fund their campaigns, yet they're pro-business until they do something that business doesn't like, in which case they have a way of saying, yeah, we're not going to listen to you. What exactly are these people for then? Because they give tax cuts to the wealthy, so they're for the wealthy. So, but I used to think they were also for business. So I guess they're just for old rich people who don't work for a living. I that don't own businesses, that just are old time wealth. I don't understand. I have no idea what exactly is their base anymore. Police in New York City have arrested a U-Haul truck driver accused of deliberately plowing into pedestrians, injuring at least 8 people before officers chased him down and stopped the vehicle, authorities said. And from what I saw, he's living in the U-Haul. And that when the police got to him, he said he wanted to die. So I guess he was hoping for death by cop. I guess that was what he was hoping for. Anyway, a federal prosecutor urged a New York jury to sentence Sayfullo Saipov to death as the penalty phase of his trial began, saying his execution would be the only just punishment after he killed 8 people in 2017 attack on a Manhattan bike path. And I've mentioned before on these videos my feeling about capital punishment. On the one hand, if he did this, I'm not going to cry. However, I'm not going to call for the death penalty because I'm anti-death penalty. But not going to cry. So, On to business and markets. Oof. Ford plans to cut 1 in 9 jobs in product development and administration across Europe as part of a global drive to be competitive in the electronic vehicle market. The U.S. automaker announced plans to invest $3.5 billion to build an electric vehicle battery plant in Michigan with Chinese partner KATL. So, hey, we're getting jobs. You know, the thing that those people who are against caring about climate change and electric vehicles and stuff, we're creating jobs. This is proof. All right. So it's cutting 1 in 9 jobs, but it's also creating a battery plant in Michigan. So I'm not sure what the net gain is here, or if there's a net loss or a net gain, but I see that as job creation. All right. Japan's government named academic Kazuo Ueda as its pick to become next central bank governor. I thought that happened already. A choice that could heighten the chance of an end to its unpopular yield control policy. Ueda faces a rocky time as an outsider at the bank, says Breaking Views columnist Pete Sweeney. Okay. But yeah, I thought this happened already, so okay. The U.S. Federal Reserve will raise interest rates at least twice more in coming months, with the risk they go higher still, according to a majority of economists in a Reuters poll who see no cut by year end. And actually, I thought I saw that the consumer price index fell by 6.7% or something. So the prices are slowing down, which is good. Japan's Toshiba slashed its annual earnings estimate after third quarter profits slumped, while its chief operating officer resigned over the inappropriate use of entertainment expenses some years ago. Alrighty. For years, Alliance. Let me just see if this is something. All right. For years, Alliance plied billions into property, wind farms, and even London's sewage system. But now it is moving to shun such alternative investments for plain vanilla bonds. The German company's new approach comes amid a sea change in the investment environment. The NFT market is switching out of its torpor. What? Defying reports of its demise. Okay, are those even words? What? All right, and with that, I believe I am done with this edition. So I will see you guys tomorrow with another daily news video. If there's something you want me to go more in depth in, just let me know in the comments below. Or if there's a news item I missed, also put that in the comments below and I will do a video about it. If it's something I can find information on anyway. So with that, I will see you tomorrow.